This video is brought to you by my latest book, How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar, a comprehensive guide to doing exactly that, playing melodic rock lead guitar. This is not just some collection of scale patterns and tabs, although you do get plenty of those, but you also get an entire chapter on how to come up with your own licks, as well as video content, tutorials and demonstrations, loads of jam tracks, and all the way through I'm encouraging you to expand your fretboard knowledge and showing you how you can think in a more musical and melodic way. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today's video is another one of these that I tend to sometimes do on a Thursday where I'm just rambling a little bit. Hopefully not too much and hopefully in a coherent manner. But basically just thinking out loud about a particular topic, and I invite your opinions on this topic in the comments below, and that is... are you a monogamous guitar player? Do you kind of just feel such a connection with one particular guitar that the thought of playing a different one is a little bit like being unfaithful? I remember reading back in the 1980s, it was actually in a guitar magazine, and it was a Seymour Duncan pickup ad where he was talking about the very idea of playing anything other than his beloved Telecaster was anathema to him. So in order to get the sound that he wanted out of it, that's why he started kind of winding his own pickups, or so the legend goes. I don't personally know whether Seymour plays more than one guitar, but certainly that was the impression he gave in that advert. And many of you know that a few years ago I had a signature model guitar, which I no longer play. We won't go into the reasons for that, but it was such a flattering kind of experience to have someone who made really rather nice guitars say, "Would you like me to make you a signature model?" And it was, hello, yes. So I jumped at the chance, but after about a year of owning that guitar, it became, well, I've got to play it, haven't I? But maybe I want to play that one instead. Maybe I want to play this one instead. Maybe I just feel like playing a different guitar today. And I know how much of a first world problem that sounds like. For instance, I've got a really good friend who owns a villa in Cyprus. He's worked hard all his life, built a business, provided employment for people, and very highly regarded by his employees as well, because I know some of them. And he owns this villa in Cyprus, and then he was saying to me one time, says, "Yeah, but it gets a bit boring going back to the villa every year in Cyprus. We're going to find somewhere else and just kind of jet off somewhere else." Oh, yeah, how boring it must be to have your own villa in the sun. So I get what I'm saying. Oh, isn't it terrible having a signature model guitar? It's, I get that is, that there's an air of, possibly, what would you call it, entitlement about that. Well, not entitlement, but you know what I mean. First world problem. But the truth is that I discovered through that process that I'm just not a one guitar kind of guy. Some days, like at the moment, I haven't played this guitar much in a couple of months, and I'm really, really kind of rediscovering it and falling in love with it again. It's second only, really, to having the new Guitar Day experience, when you think, I haven't played that one in ages, and you pick it up and you think, oh yes, and the novelty is kind of rekindled itself a little bit. And even with, like, as I often say, I'm not the world's greatest Strat fan, but I've just finished doing a video for Patreon where it involved playing that red Strat on the back wall there, and I thought, oh, this is quite nice for a change, isn't it? And the idea of just having a single guitar that you say, right, that's it, I've set my stall out, that's the guitar I'm always going to play to the exclusion of most others. You get this with certain big names, don't you? For instance, Steve Lukather, right? When these days do you ever see him playing anything but his Music Man Luke model? I know there's various ones. There's the HSS one, and he's got like a HH one as well. But it's basically the same guitar. I doubt they're going to feel radically different. But then you get someone like Pete Thorne, who he's got his own Sir signature model. But, and you do see him playing it, but not to the exclusion of all others. If you watch any of his videos, he's got an old Strat that he uses, an old Telly that he uses. I don't know what the brand is, but he has some nice looking sort of boutique single cuts. They're not Gibsons. And when I saw him playing with the Classic Rock Show, he was using his Ibanez, is it the Destroyer, the Explorer copy. Really ripped up the final solo on Freebird using that. I was 2 rows back. It was incredible. So you do see Pete playing his signature guitar quite often, but I remember the fanfare with which the what's he called, the guy out of Aerosmith, Joe Perry, the Joe Perry signature model Les Paul, wasn't it called the Boneyard Les Paul? And then that was launched, and then I saw Aerosmith on a couple of they played. It might have been what's Monsters of Rock called now, Download. They played some festival like that on the TV round about that sort of time, and he didn't play his signature guitar once throughout the whole set. And there was, I seem to remember on YouTube some other footage of him not playing that guitar. So maybe he does, maybe I've just not noticed it. But you do get some artists that seem to very, very seldomly play their signature model, and you think, well, why bother? I mean, I suppose John Mayer is a guy who's right at the kind of the other end of the spectrum, who, when do you ever see him playing anything other than a Silver Sky? But I'm not that kind of player. I like to kind of think, well, okay, yeah, I've been playing that one for a few weeks now, I want to play this one instead. I'm in the fortunate position that, I've got some very nice guitars in here that I've worked very hard for. I mean, I sit in this room here upwards of 70 hours a week most weeks, and, as you can tell, I don't spend money on fashion. or what's the thing, these male grooming or anything like that. My luxuries in life are a curry on a Friday and a few beers and some nice guitars. So I'm fortunate enough that I've got a lot of nice guitars. You don't have to be that, you don't have to be Mr. Moneybags to be able to be in that position these days. Anyone can build up a collection of all of the great classic guitar styles without having to go out and buy a Fender Stratocaster and a Gibson Les Paul and a Gibson ES335 and a Fender Telecaster. You can get very, very affordable, very, very good quality copies of all of those styles of guitars, so you can have that that palette of colours without having to spend, of good quality guitars, without having to spend a ridiculous amount of money like you would have probably once had to done back in the 80s. You think of a typical 1980s or even 70s Les Paul copy like that black satellite plywood thing on the wall there. I still love that guitar. It's such a nostalgic thing for me. That was one of those that I first cut my teeth gigging on. So yeah, that's it's not a great guitar, but it's a guitar that I love for the memories. But the point I'm making is that a cheap Les Paul copy now is probably going to have a set neck and a mahogany body and some nice pickups in it, and it will be tricky, if not impossible, to pick out in a blindfold test when you're listening to a recording of it from something that comes from Gibson. So if you are of the same persuasion as me, where you just like that bit of variety, then you're pretty well served these days. But some people, again, I know people that I teach that they have one guitar, and that's their guitar, and they don't want to think about owning another guitar, because it's this is all they want in a guitar. You know, it's everything they need, and they feel such a connection with that guitar that, again, it's like a relationship. They're monogamous with that guitar. So I guess that is what one of the two camps that we fall into as guitarists. We're either serial philanderers like me, or we are, you know, kind of monogamous to one instrument. Be interested to know what camp you fall into. Do you kind of get itchy feet and wanderlust when it comes to playing a different guitar? Would the thought of playing just only one guitar exclusively be something that you welcome, or something that you would feel restrictive? I know which side my bread's buttered, hence why I've got different guitars all around me. But as always, I'm interested to know what you think. So that's basically the point of the video today, folks. Let me know what your thoughts on this are. And this is sort of a precursor, really, to Sunday's video, where I'm going to be just kind of seeing exactly how much difference there is in tone between the different guitars that I tend to play the most. And well, you'll see what Sunday's video is all about on Sunday. That's a tale for another day. I won't give you any spoilers now, but that is the video for today, folks. Hope you found that what's the word, thought-provoking, perhaps. Maybe you haven't, I don't know. But either way, if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And we'll probably continue this conversation tomorrow on the live stream, 5 PM UK time, tomorrow, Friday, and every Friday, where we just have a beer and talk about this kind of stuff and much else as well. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.